It has become a staple of the SEC schedule on the final weekend of the season. Texas A&M goes to Death Valley, where they have yet to win as a member of the SEC going back to 2012. We got Andrew Hattersley on the line from Gig'em 247 Sports, as we always do, to talk up the Aggies. And you can catch Andrew post-game here at the Voice of College Football talking Aggies. Andrew, how's it going?
Good, and you? Yeah, you're exactly right. Regardless of record, the rivalry between these two is alive and well. Yeah, there's certainly a lot at stake, and even for just really pride on both sides. It's been talked about a lot on our boards this week that they'd love to be the program to send Ed Orgeron out with a loss. So there's certainly a lot to play for this week.
So as Andrew states there, basically the deal is LSU's 5-6. They need a win for eligibility, so they would send out Ed Orgeron with a loss, and that would be the finale of the LSU season. If the Tigers win, they gain bowl eligibility, and it's not the final game for them. So let's get to the broad picture of what's going on here in regards to, we talked about this a few weeks ago in terms of Texas A&M's directional, if you go in all sorts of directions in the SEC, whether they can find a rivalry, whether that's, Missouri from the old Big 12 days, Arkansas, LSU, and of course, the SEC gives us indication of what they want when they set things up for the final weekend of the regular season. And they matched up Arkansas and Mizzou, and they matched up Texas A&M and LSU from the time that the Aggies joined the SEC. So they would like to see this be a rivalry, and it does have a trophy attached to it, correct?
Yeah, I believe it does. I don't remember the name of the trophy, but there certainly has a rivalry feel between the two fan bases, and I'm not sure either cares very much for one another. So it certainly has kind of that sort of feel.
It's relatively close in distance.
Yeah.
You would go around the SEC and measure it off. I know Alabama and Mississippi State are the two closest schools, but in regards to just geographic location, being down there near the Gulf Coast. And so how much has this factored into recruiting? Not necessarily just this year, we can get into that, but also in past years in regards to this game and the overlap of players that these two programs go after.
Yeah, I think it's had a quite a big factor, because when you look at take a guy, and I think he's still a young player, so he's probably a guy, as the rivalry progresses, will play more. But take a guy like Jordan Gilbert, for example. He is from University Lab, which is right down the road from LSU, and he chose to go to A&M and over LSU, who kind of pushed late the past cycle. And one of the reasons he said that is he kind of relished the opportunity to go against guys that he had gone against in high school and wanted to kind of go against them from the other side of the rivalry. So A&M's been more involved since Jimbo Fisher got to A&M, and they've continued to try to increase their presence in Louisiana. There's a lot of recruiting battles that these two are going to be involved in, both in, Harold Perkins from the Houston area. It's probably going to end up being an A&M LSU battle. He's a Louisiana native from before, so there's a lot of those sorts of battles where LSU is trying to make more of an imprint in Houston, and A&M is trying to make more of an imprint in the Louisiana area and see if they can gain ground there. And so there's a lot of recruiting footprint battles and targets that they're kind of both going for. And a game like this means a lot from that front, just to be able to have another year of claiming a win over your rival, and just as they try to kind of battle for those territories.
We've got Andrew Hattersley on the line from Gig'em 247 Sports on 247, of course. So jump on over there, check out Andrew's work and the rest of the staff covering Texas A&M as the Aggies prepare for a trip to Death Valley. LSU needs a win to get to bowl eligible. Texas A&M's goal is to get to 10 wins, and they need to finish out strong with a bowl victory included. All right, please like the video, share these videos out on social media. You enjoy the content, others will as well. So please share the videos and subscribe right here at the Voice of College Football. As we break down the matchup, really the only personnel issue that we discussed before we started to record is Damon Demas not playing in this one. 15 catches, 235 yards, and a touchdown. So he will be out, correct?
Yeah, unfortunately, Jimbo Fisher mentioned that he was going to, or confirmed that he was going to be out for the rest of the season with what he described as a leg injury, which is a shame because I think he had really been coming on the second half of this year as he got more comfortable in the offense and started to learn. So it opens up an opportunity for other guys. Caleb Chapman has come back and provided a boost for the offense. Probably not going to have Chase Lane, so it's going to be interesting to kind of see what the wide receiver room looks like. You got Anais Smith. Um, I wonder if Moose Muhammad has made a case. I think he's certainly made the case. We'll see if it leads to more playing time on the field. But he's coming off another really good weekend against Prairie View, and just a sure-handed guy that seems to be in the right spots running routes. And so with Damon Demas out, I wonder if he might not be a guy, along with Jalen Preston, that continues to get more playing time.
Talking LSU, Texas A&M. Coming up, of course, this weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, last weekend of football in the SEC, and then the bowl invitations go out. Texas A&M looking for a good one, and to close out the regular season at 9-3. This LSU team up and down, so it's easy to look at the record and know the obvious that it's been a down year for LSU, a second consecutive down year, and that's the reason Ed Ogeron will be looking for employment if he so chooses, but they have parted ways, and this could be his last game at LSU. But they are capable. There's no question about that. They beat Florida by a touchdown. I know the Gators are down as well, but they were playing much better football at that point. They had a game against Auburn in which they controlled the game for much of the way before they blew it late. They've stepped up and played well against Mississippi State, a team that beat Texas A&M. LSU won that game by 3 points. And of course, the Alabama effort taking the tie down to the last possession. So certainly the talent's on the roster.
Yeah, I think defensively they've been playing a little bit better the past couple of weeks. You even look at that Arkansas game, and I believe that went to overtime if I'm not mistaken. And so defensively they've been defending the run a little bit better. I think in November they're only giving up just a tick under 90 yards per game on the ground. So have been making strides defensively, and it really started in that Alabama game where they blitzed a lot more in that game and thought, let's just continue doing this. And so since then they've been blitzing a lot more, been a lot more aggressive, bringing pressure. And that's really helped. And so I think A&M can expect to see a lot more of that. And it's going to be a test for Zach Calzada. There's no secret he struggled the last time he went on the road against Ole Miss. And so it's going to be important for A&M to, one, get off to a good start, which they didn't against Ole Miss, and get the ground game going and be able to slow down that pass rush. Everything starts with A&M being able to run the ball and work off of that. And so, guys like Isaiah Spiller and Devon Achane, they're going to need to get them going early, get the offensive line settled in and see if they can move the ball against LSU. But I expect this is going to be kind of a knockdown, drag it out type of game. Last year was 20-3, I believe. And I could see a similar type of game and, just kind of both defenses battling for field position and maybe a late turnover kind of creating some distance.
I would not bet the mortgage on this, but we don't want to make our LSU fans unhappy. I think LSU scored with like 10 seconds left in the game. I think they scored a touchdown.
They did.
It was 20-7.
20-7. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they had the shutout going for the entire game, and then LSU scored with just a few seconds left in the game.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was kind of that sort of game where both defenses kind of controlled it. A&M got points off a turnover. I believe Buddy Johnson returned it for a touchdown. And so, A&M, if they can create extra possessions and create some advantageous field position with their defense, that'll be how they win this game and rely on them. Because, I mean, they've been the anchors all year, and when they've played well, A&M's usually played well.
I was searching forever for a point spread here. I finally caught up with one. Texas A&M 6.5 point favorite at LSU. That would seem to make sense. It's looked to be a competitive game, but Texas A&M clearly the better team, but also on the road.
Yeah.
Zach Calzada's had his ups and downs. He's generally developed throughout the season, and obviously pressed into duty against Colorado, and that was the beginning of his run, and the high point coming against Alabama, of course. Do you consider 2022 to be kind of a reset in regards to the competition for the quarterback spot?
Yeah, I'd imagine we're going to enter the offseason with that being one of the question marks, and Zach Calzada will be in the mix. He'll have a chance to battle against Haynes King, who's getting slowly healthier. He's shed the boot now and was out on the field throwing again before the game. Still not ready to go, but at least he's making strides in that direction. And then Connor Wigman, who's their 5-star Texas A&M quarterback commit, has really created some buzz with his senior season. He's done a tremendous job. They're still in the playoffs right now with Bridgeland and what he's done. And so I think there is a feeling that he could potentially come right in and challenge for a starting spot. And so I think you're going to have those 3 guys throughout the spring and summer competing for that starting quarterback spot. And I think competition is healthy in this regard, and let the better man win. And I think that's what Jimbo Fisher firmly believes in, is to let these guys kind of play and see who his team gravitates towards. And it's the pressure is going to be on a guy like Haynes King, because I mean he won the quarterback job before, lost it obviously, as this is the season's largely lost due to injury at this point. But we'll see how he bounces back in the spring, and if he can kind of build off at least those first couple of games of game experience that he got, he's certainly got just as good a chance as anybody of getting that quarterback job back. And it's going to be a fun storyline to watch. And I think that quarterback room's in good shape with Connor Wigman coming in, and we'll see how the offense off season develops.
Saturday night, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, your game, Texas A&M at LSU. Check out Andrew's work at Gig'em 247 Sports. Andrew, we always appreciate you stopping by. And, of course, check out Andrew doing post-game duties here at the Voice of College Football, taking your comments and questions after the game. All right, Andrew, well, have a great week and a great Thanksgiving.
Thanks, you too, Mark. Appreciate you having me, as always.